Good morning. Welcome to Podsitive Vibes, making positivity and gratitude louder in a podcast world. And this morning, I have my friend. This morning, I have my good friend, Dr. Jannine Krause, in the studio. She's a naturopathic doctor in University Place. Sort of a part of Tacoma here. I don't know, part of, it's right next to whatever. But anyway, yeah, it's right by Tacoma anyway. But yeah, I have her live in the studio this morning and just going to be interviewing her about being a doctor in the times that we're going through right now and just in general. And like I was saying on my post on Instagram and Facebook this morning, watching her Instagram posts and stories, I, constantly every day seeing her going all around, the country the country, gathering research, tidbits, news, information, new stuff that comes out on, natural medicine, and so that she can implement that in her office and, with her own patients. And so with that, I guess I will introduce her. And so let me see here. Oh, yeah, it's down there. Jannine. Welcome, Jannine.
Thanks, Shane. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, definitely a pleasure. Just like I was saying, I just want to interview you and ask you about, how are you doing with all that's going on these days with the COVID and just, being a doctor and all this?
Yeah, the pandemic's kind of changed how I practice a little bit. I like to connect with people face to face. So doing a little bit more of the telemedicines, I'm getting used to it now. Before, it was really kind of hard in March and in April, kind of got it through it now. So I'm doing a lot more telemedicine, doing some acupressure versus acupuncture. So I walk through people online, like how they can press on certain points versus coming in and getting actual acupuncture. So that's kind of fun too. Yeah.
Huh.
Have you ever tried acupressure? I think we've only done acupuncture on you.
Actually, yeah. I did mention that in my post this morning that all I have, that the only treatment I've received from you was acupuncture. But I said in my post something to the effect that if I do need medical treatment in the future that's non-emergency, I will be going to you.
Yes. No, I have been seeing, quite a bit more somewhat urgent care because a lot of people aren't wanting to go into urgent care centers. I've seen hernias this year. I've seen ankle sprains and strains, I saw fractured elbow, which is a new one for me. So I haven't had to see some things like that. And so I'm seeing a lot of folks who just normally would have gone to the ER or urgent care, but they decided to come see me instead. So I'm getting sharpened up on my emergency medicine of sorts skills or urgent medicine skills. So that's been kind of fun this year, practicing new things. So yeah, I think it's the year of a lot of folks diving into their health and figuring out what's the root of the illness. And so we're doing a lot of testing and investigating further into nutrition and looking for food sensitivities and kind of questioning, since folks have had more time to sit home and ponder what's going on with their health.
Right on. Yeah, I definitely. That's what I guess that's what's so appealing to natural. That's what's so appealing about natural medicine to me is the fact that you're searching for the root cause and not just searching for not just throwing medication at it. Just like throwing medication at symptoms to quiet them down. Yeah, let's just quiet this down, and not really worry about what's actually going on here.
Yes. Yeah. It's common. I think there's this concept of, hey doc, I want to go into, and I want you to just fix me. Give me the pill or give me the supplement or the magic, whatever you got, to fix me. But I'm looking for folks who are more interested in diving in and figuring out, okay, well, why do I have this issue? What's going on? What provoked this? What habits, what lifestyle things are making this happen? So that's where I really love to dive in, because unfortunately, this day and age, it's a culture of like, I want the quick fix, but I kind of want to know what's going on, but I'd rather have the quick fix. So it's my job is to try to help folks to be like, okay, we can get the quick fix, but is that quick fix going to last? And of course, there's situations in which we might need an antibiotic or some type of higher level, medication, because there isn't a, natural solution in that case that's strong enough, whatnot. But if we're looking at chronic gut issues or chronic pain, we got to dive deeper and figure out what the heck's going on, skin stuff too. Because you could put a steroid cream on something and it goes away for a while, but if you forget to do it, it comes back. So diving in deeper.
Yeah, it's like the you can throw medication or whatever at the symptom, but the cause, the root cause is still there if you do that, and the root cause is still active and waiting to kick up another symptom.
It's true. Yeah, a lot of us probably have seen we take one medication and then we get another side effect. So then we have to take a medication to the side effect and things, go down that route for sure. Yeah. In this day and age, a lot of people are super stressed out. So I've been seeing a lot of side effects of just what happens in the body when you become stressed out. People coming in with their shoulders as earrings. I call it armadilloing. They're kind of curling up into balls. I mean, it's crazy what COVID's, doing to our mental health, for sure. It's not cool.
Yeah, definitely. It's like I've actually I actually have a couple people I know that, apparently they said they had, doctors have said they had COVID. They were tested positive for it, and they didn't really have any symptoms or anything. They were pretty much asymptomatic. And then, just like for a day or two, were just coughing and hacking violently, and their throat became, just like totally raw, and they were in such pain just all over their body, and just physically just like, felt like, okay, maybe this is the end. And then, they were doing whatever treatment they were doing, and it got better and went away. And it's like, wow, how'd that happen so quickly? It's like, wow.
Yeah, it's impressive how some people have been quite sick and others not as much. And it kind of boils down to what lifestyle factors are there that can make you, stronger to fight viruses and stronger against all these things. And I tend to look at, it as one, how well do you manage stress? Two, are you getting out and moving? Because circulation, just in general, I mean, you're a runner, you every day you're out doing something. And I think that has a testament to our immunity. Keeping the body moving is incredible for helping us. And I find that with a lot of folks, that the folks that have been faring better in terms of my practice that have been sick, and the ones that didn't fare as well, the difference is how well someone manages stress and really how much someone moves in a day. And I'm not talking you have to beat yourself up at the gym. I'm talking like, sometimes you'll run and some days you're walking, and it's just movement. It seems that circulation and moving things through the body better on a really fundamental basic level of blood flow seems to be what has been the difference for my patients that have done better versus those that haven't.
Yeah, it's like totally. I relate to that so much. Well, like you were just saying, I run every day or walk, and it's like, yeah, it's just ever since my traumatic brain injury and my physical therapy that came after that, going through that during that time, I remember my dad was always, not always, but most of the time anyway, he was pressuring me, leave that video game alone, go outside and ride your bike, or walk around the neighborhood, just do something.
Yeah.
And then it's like years later, I rode the STP and Seattle to Portland bike ride, and all this running I've been doing thousands of miles over the past 4 years. But it's like one of my good friends, Terry, something he always said, or said quite a few times to me, was a body in motion stays in motion. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the things I live by, is pretty much just keep moving if you want to keep moving.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, my dad's 84, and I think the reason that he is still alive, despite quadruple bypass and all kinds of other history stuff that he's got with his cardiovascular disease, is like he actually every day he's moving, he's in some project. My husband was commenting he was doing some housework for us. So not like my chores housework. He was literally helping us to lift our roof, and he was in the attic in like a position that you wouldn't imagine an 84-year-old to be, but his mobility is great. And it's because he keeps doing that. He keeps putting himself in those positions to do life stuff, kind of move around. And he's not a runner. He's never been in a gym in his life. He will tell you. But he does hard work every day. And there's something about just giving your body that gift of movement that really helps with immunity, mindset, stress relief, you name it. So many things. What run streak day are we on now? Where are we at? What's today?
Today is day number 932.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's just keep moving, and, just keeps me moving. My multiple sclerosis, as you know, is at a minimum. Symptoms are at a minimum, pretty much almost gone. Especially, and it's even gotten better in the past 3 months, 2 or 3 months. 2 months, I think, maybe 3. But 3 months since I started this Best Bet diet, which is basically clean eating.
Yep.
Gluten-free, dairy-free, soy-free, legume-free, low sugar, just chicken and pork, or poultry and pork, moderate amounts, and limited red meat, which I don't think I've had any red meat since I started this, but I'm just doing phenomenal. Well, I'm always doing phenomenal, but better now.
Yeah, it's funny how food, can be your medicine. And I think a lot of people will think about these diets and be like, oh my gosh, I don't want to be so restrictive. But really, if you eat closest to nature, even 70 to 80% of the time, you're going to feel a heck of a lot better than just pushing it off because you don't want to do it and go into that. Because once again, if we talk back, in the COVID department and immunity and things, I mean, the cleaner you eat, the healthier you're going to be, no matter what. I mean, we don't even have, not even virus in general, bacteria, keeping yourself healthy is all about eating closest to nature, because your body's got to process all of that processed junk, those chemicals and stuff. If you're eating on that and then you're not moving, all those chemicals get in and they get stuck. If you're moving, you can at least detox them a little bit more. At least move them out of the system. You might sweat, you might breathe a little bit more and get those things out. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's the one. That's it's like the running. I met a guy down in Phoenix, Arizona, Craig Davidson. He had at the time, I think this was in 2017, I think he had 40 years, or just a month shy of 40 years of his run streak.
Wow.
And he'd been running, just about since the time I was born. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. And then I'd heard of other people that have been on run streaks, and I thought of the fact that since I started running, not a run streak, but since I started running in the first place, back in 2016, I'd been feeling better so far as my MS and everything. So I figured, well, might as well keep it up, and just keep running every day. Why not? Let's start it. And, I started a month-long run streak with a friend of mine on Instagram, and we've just been running ever since, and May 27th, 2018, we started and still going.
Wow.
But, and it's like throw in, this clean eating diet, and it's just like, along with my vitamins and supplements, couple supplements I take in the morning, it's like, just building up my immunity, which I need to do since I have, already have an autoimmune disease, I might as well do all I can to, counteract that.
Absolutely. No, I think that's an important thing to note is that you do have some vitamins and minerals that you're taking, because I think a lot of people will kind of, and I'll be the first to admit that, yeah, I'm a naturopath, but I'm not going to be like, here's your suitcase of supplements. I think we do need some supplemental stuff, especially because when you're running 900 plus days straight, you got to have some repair going on in the body, and eating clean is going to help you to repair because your body has less toxins to deal with on a day in, day out level. But supplements can be extremely useful for helping you to have enough energy to recover, B vitamins, things of that nature. So what are you taking? What do you got on board? What's your regimen?
I take a general multivitamin. Just, it has pretty much everything in there. And then I take a Super B complex to get my B vitamins, like you were stating. And, what is it? Oh, then I take, well, I guess I only take 3 pills now. Multivitamin, a general multivitamin, and Super B complex and biotin.
Yeah. That's a nice, well-rounded, simple, not complicated concept. And a lot of people will kind of poo-poo the idea of multivitamins, but really we can't always get everything from what we eat, no matter how clean we eat. The soil that things are grown in is not always as rich as we wish it was. So, you need the different minerals, especially when you're running and you're pounding the bone. You need some of those magnesiums, and you need a little bit of seleniums, and, all that kind of stuff to help you to really keep the bone nice and strong. Plus zinc's usually in a multivitamin, and that's kind of great for immunity, but it's also great for helping a ton of other processes in the body, like metabolizing food and detox too, and hormones, keeping hormones legit. Like in your case, testosterone. Yeah. We gotta keep that like balance there with the zinc and the prostate health. I mean, I could go on and on. I'm not gonna bore the audience with what all the benefits of zinc. Clearly, I've decided to hone in on that one. But having the minerals is huge, and the B vitamins. I think a lot of people don't know, and about B vitamins in terms of what they really do. They're like, yeah, they give me energy. They actually go into every single cell in the cycle of, and I'm doing this circle with my finger because I call it the hamster wheel of energy within our cells. And it's making those B vitamins like inject themselves into there, and they're helping to make you more efficient at making energy. So take that instead of those pre-workouts and all that kind of stuff. You get something that is actually going to give you a boost.
Yeah. Well, I actually a couple days ago at work, a few days ago, I saw him at the store. These one of my coworkers, he drinks these yerba mate energy drink things, and it comes in a can. And I've seen him drink those before, and I'm thinking, okay, because he has I forget why, but he drinks these herbal energy drinks rather than the Monster energy drinks or whatever, because those irritate his gut, what have you. And I forget what exactly the case is, but anyway, he drinks these yerba mates and they work for him. And so I'm like, okay, I'll try these. Well, I drank one the other day. Oh my God.
What happened? The
sugar content in there just jacked me up hardcore. I was just like going like 90 miles an hour all afternoon, I mean, it helped out my run that night, but I got a few miles in as opposed to walking a mile, which was my, my plan. But
Yeah, some of those, I mean, it can be natural. And like yerba mate's got a little caffeine in it too. So you add some sugar and caffeine and like you're putting like the gas pedal on with maybe a little nitrous if you think of it in terms of the caffeine. It's like the coffee hit too for energy. But it's not nourishing your body, you know, and I think a lot of people maybe don't think about that. The caffeine, yeah, you get your energy and it's immediate. And so that's back to that magic, right? Like boom, you got your energy, but at what cost? What is it going to do to your body overall? And yerba mates and quad shot espressos, you know, yeah, it's gonna just literally get your adrenal glands to pump out a lot of adrenaline and cortisol in particular. And then when that comes off of that, what are you left with? That's why I like the B vitamins, because it's they're going to go through your system. Yes, they're water soluble. You'll pee out. Some of them in your urine might be neon, but at least you'll get a few in terms of what your body needs versus you're going to pee out your coffee too. And you don't get anything from that other than you get your quick energy boost. And I know a lot of people can argue that with me and whatnot. And I don't want to like go down a terrible route of like hating on coffee. I'm not. I can't handle caffeine. I'm like, I get that in me and I'm like, I can't function, can't think. But B vitamins, I do a lot better with it because it seems to just give my body what it needs for the boost, and then I'm good to go. So I've been a huge fan of talking about the adaptogenic coffees, like those mushroom coffees with cordyceps and stuff. Have you tried any of those, like Four Sigmatic?
No. Yeah. That does sound interesting though.
Yeah, those guys. Mud water is another thing that's more like a chai, but it definitely gives you an energy boost. But what it's doing is not pushing on your adrenal glands too much, because there is that point at which, for a lot of us who love to train, who love to work out, who love to run, we can get to a point where we overtrain. And that's why I love to see when you're walking. Sometimes I'm like, okay, he's backing down a little bit. He's taking care of his body a little bit. But anyway, the Four Sigmatics and the different types of coffee blends, like Ohm is another brand that has some of the, I call them magical mushrooms, but not the kind that's going to get you tripping. Yeah. They're going to give you energy and help to help you manage stress on a daily level. And so I'm like, why not give yourself something like that versus pushing the coffee so hard? So I'm always on my patients about like, let's dial things back a little bit and adjust. But I did just interview some guy that has Tyler's Coffee. Have you heard of Tyler's Coffee?
No.
It's a zero acid coffee. So it's a coffee that won't bug your gut, but you do get caffeine out of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I'm like, well, for people that are having gut issues, I have seen that. I don't know, something to think about anyway, just to know that there are other options out there and you can look for zero acid coffees.
Huh. Yeah, I had heard or saw something online or whatever about zero acid or low acid coffee, but I've yet to try any of it.
Yeah, I haven't tried it either. I mean, the caffeine's going to do me in. So I'm pretty much sticking with the adaptogenic stuff. I had mud water maybe like a month ago and loved it. I like chai though. So there is a little caffeine with the black tea component of a regular chai. The mud water doesn't have it, and I liked it. It felt good. Too much black tea, and I'm also jittery and a completely different person.
Yeah,
doesn't work out well.
That's one thing I've noticed since I started this Best Bet diet. It was talking in the layout of the diet, what all it entails. It was saying something about limiting your sugar intake. Since I started this diet, I used to, this 20 ounce cup of coffee, 24, I don't know. I thought it was 20, but usually I buy a 20 ounce cup of coffee at like McDonald's. Well, McDonald's you get large, but say I go to Good Vibes Espresso and I get a 20 ounce coffee or Americano. I pour it in my cup and there's still room. So I think it's 24 ounce. Anyway, I used to just sit there with the sugar shaker and pour and tap on it 20 times. And that was my sugar intake.
Holy cow.
And I don't know, just like 20 seconds or maybe, whatever. But I would pour sugar in there and that was good. It was golden, I loved it sweet. Sweetness was my weakness, and I'm sure it still would be. But anyway, since I started this or decided to start this diet, actually, it was 3 or 4 days before I had Matt Embry and his dad, Dr. Ashton Embry, on my podcast here.
Nice.
Back in September. 3 or 4 days before I had them on to interview them about this Best Bet diet and MS Hope, I figured, okay, well, if I'm going to interview them about this and, you know, get all the inside scoop on this diet and how it works with Matt having MS and, you know, being on this diet for 25 years since he's had MS and being symptom free, maybe I ought to try this diet and see how it works. I've been on it ever since, and I have put 0 sugar in my coffee.
That's huge.
And I haven't eaten cookies at all. And I used to sit and eat a bag of cookies at a time.
Wow. Oh, that's freeing up your body for a lot better recovery. I bet you've been noticing some gains with running. Have you noticed like you feel stronger and
my pace, my average pace is like about a minute a mile faster.
Hey, runners out there, do you hear this? Like, seriously, I've known, I mean, being a runner myself, and now I've kind of backed off a little bit compared to what I used to do. But I also kind of fell into that, like, sugar habit with running. I don't know. I think it's an energy thing. You get into it, right? And, like, a lot of my pro mountain bikers I used to work with in Colorado, it was this thing, you got the sugar, like even the honey packets and stuff to keep you going. And it's almost like your body gets trained to have those sugar hits because of the running and the marathon training and the ultra training. And so you're like, I got to keep giving myself sugar hits. And your brain's like, no, wait, you know, I know we're not running a marathon today, but you still got to give me that. So it's almost like you train your body to get used to the sugar to the point that it's such habit. So now you're proof that you can untrain yourself from having the sugar habit. Now, granted, if you get it again, Christmas is coming. What are you doing? What's your plan for Christmas? How are you going to manage the diet and all that for Christmas?
For Christmas, the only my plan for Christmas, I'm going to visit my mom. Mm-hmm. We're, you know, social distance. We're going to stay apart and we're going to wear masks or whatever and stay safe. But for my mom's totally down with my diet. Which she used to practice, you know, a very healthy diet and running and all that. Now she's not into running anymore, and sort of gotten away from eating as healthy as she used to. And now, since I'm on this diet, every time we get together, every time I go to her place, she's always asking, you know, always asking me beforehand, texting me and asking me, okay, what about this? Can you have that in your diet? Can you have this in your diet? And then cooking or, you know, making food, preparing around that.
So mom's got you covered. So you don't even have to worry. She's not going to even she's not going to have cookies or anything, huh?
No.
Wow. That's good. Good.
She can, well, it's like, you know, she can have cookies for herself, but I'm not going to have any. I'll be tempted if they are there, but I'm not going to have any. Wow. Because that's my new, you know, and like I was saying, I'm in so far as the local Run Super mm-hmm. group that I'm in, mm-hmm.
The
leader of the group, Sabrina, goes by Super. That's her moniker is Super. You know? So if you ever see her, call her Super.
Will do.
But anyway, she put up a post yesterday morning about what was the first thing you did this morning, and like I put on this, my comment on the post was, you know, the truth, you know, first thing when I woke up, I was thinking of nice, big, fat, sugary donuts. And I was thinking, you know, how I could go to the store and get some big, fat, sugary donuts. And that's what I was craving. You know what I did? And this is what I put in my comment on that post is I went right to the store and I got 3 bananas, like a pound and a half of grapes, which I still have some of the grapes, but pound and a half of grapes and a bag of granola. And I drove to the down by Foss Waterway, parked by the water, and ate them. And it's like the one word I had to describe all that. I put in all caps after that with exclamation points. Discipline. And it's like, that's what I've had to do for myself, and like I put in my post on Instagram and Facebook yesterday morning, rather than all the crap I used to put in my body, alcohol, drugs, cigarettes, sugary coffee, having a little bit of coffee with my pound of sugar, okay, not quite a pound, but a lot.
It sounds like a lot.
Eating big fat sugary donuts, eating candy bars, drinking a 2-liter of Mountain Dew every day, smoking a bunch more cigarettes, drinking a lot more coffee, having some more Mountain Dew, drinking more eating more donuts. That was what my day used to consist of, and peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and just lots of sugar, lots of fat, even though it's unsaturated. I didn't really do anything, wasn't doing anything at the time, not doing much anyway compared to what I do now so far as movement and motion. And so I fell into depression, fatigue, and just felt like crap, and my life became crap. Mm-hmm. And I got away from that, and I'm eating healthy, running every day, and my life is a lot better.
Now, that's a good word to talk about. I like the concept of discipline because you're disciplined with running. And I often will look at fitness as being like the gateway drug to discipline. Because if you become part of a community like a runner's group, you're going to have people who are going to be like, all right, we're running, at such and such a time. And so you're going to become disciplined to start doing that. And then it's like, okay, you got that, you get that down. And then it's like, what's next to help your body out? So you've got the best diet, you've got the sugar lowered. Now I'm like, all right, Shane, what's next? What are we doing next? What are we adding on for discipline? So of course, you guys, I'm always on him about like, what is he going to do next to take care of himself and what to move forward, and I think discipline is something that a lot of people right now have had to learn a little bit, because being stuck in your house and having, your kitchen right there, oh my God, I can imagine doing drive-bys on my kitchen all day long and wondering why the COVID-15 turned into the COVID-40 or the 50. I mean, it's looking at discipline, and it's not restriction, it's discipline. Like, what is your goal? You want to run, you want to feel good, you want to feel good for life. Okay, so folks who are sitting at home and, maybe working from home, haven't left as much, but want to get healthier, we got to start with like, what's the first thing we can get you kind of like disciplined and routined on? I like movement. I don't know. It seems to work well for you. I think it works well for a lot of folks, even just walking.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, even like I've heard my friend Super,
yeah, and
other people and other coaches say is, it's like, even though I'm in the running community, even though, it's like I run every day or at least walk. And that's why a lot of times, or sometimes anyway, I do, just walk, is because after a day at work, I'm tired to begin with.
Yeah. And
pushing myself to run is easy, but pushing getting myself to slow down and take care of myself and walk, it's easy, but it can be hard at times because, I'm into that. Gotta run. I'm running all the time. It's like running, some would say it's become an addiction, but it's like life. Life is, my attitude. Life is phenomenal. Mm-hmm. It's like life is an addiction. I just want to live it all. Mm-hmm. I want to experience it all. But it's like got to tone it down and get some rest and recovery in there with these walk breaks, doing the run, walk, run when I'm out there on a run, or, just calling it a day and just walking a mile, or walking 6 miles or whatever whatever I have time for that day.
Right. No, I mean, that's a part of discipline too, knowing when you got to take it down a notch and take it easy. One of the things I always wanted to ask you about, because I think this is something that a lot of people should hear if you have a good answer to it, is your community with the running group. I mean, it means a lot to you. You post a lot on it. You talk about the folks. You post with the folks a lot. And I think for a lot of folks right now, we're missing out on community with COVID. And I think that's something that I've seen take some of my happiest, go luckiest folks down into some serious depression, because they're not feeling part of their communities, because say their gyms are closed, since this year has been, for some reason, a war on fitness, which kills me. But we're looking at a lot of people not having their tribes. And you've got your tribe with running. And it seems like most of your friends are from that group, right?
Yeah. A lot of, a vast majority of them are. Yeah, a lot of them anyway. It's like I've talked about before. I have, with the MS community, I have a lot of friends. Brain injury community, I have a lot of friends in there. And I have a lot of friends in the, just general local community, and friends in the running community, both local and, all over the area. And it's like, for myself, I mean, you've seen all my posts and we've talked quite a bit. You know how I am about my health, nutrition, how my body's doing, and preventing my MS symptoms from flaring up and all that, and staying healthy. Basically the maintenance of my health. And, which on a side note, I think I've noticed that a lot of people focus on getting healthy, but then some people do slack on their maintenance of their health.
Yeah.
And that's where it's at for me, is the maintenance of the health. Now that I've gotten to the point where I'm at, I'm not saying I'm in optimal health, but I'm in great health, great shape compared to where I've been. And if I want to stay here, I've got to do maintenance on it. And so, it's all about the maintenance. But the running community, and, it's like, stay active, and it's like Super said before, so far as doing, this, the Run Super Distance Challenge that I ran in May. I got in total 279 miles in May, which was just like, whoa, did I actually do that? I guess I did. My Strava says so.
Wow.
It's like, one of the things she said at the beginning of that and throughout it was run, jog, walk, basically run, jog, walk, crawl, whatever your thing is, do that, and see how many miles you can get for the month. And it's like, that's basically it. You don't have to be a runner. You don't have to jog. You can walk, just whatever your thing is, do that. And, it's like Gary Vee says, do your thing,
Yeah.
Don't worry about anyone else. Just do your thing. And if, it's like, to the people stuck at home because of this COVID thing, if you have a treadmill, get on that treadmill and burn it up, maybe just get on there and walk if that's your thing. One thing I've done, thinking back to when I lived up in Bonnie Lake, one thing I did there, when it was the middle of winter and I was in the house all by myself, on certain days when I didn't feel like running in the snow, which I did, but on certain days when I didn't feel like getting out there and getting cold and wet, I would, we lived in a like 48 or 50 foot mobile home or what have you, and I would run from one end to the other, maneuvering around, any walls that were in my way. And I would just run back and forth until I had a mile, and okay, there's my run.
That's awesome. Using your resources, getting creative. I think that's key. And having your community to help support you in your maintenance phase, of things. And so what I'm kind of really highlighting to folks is, yes, be creative, look for your community. There's communities online now. There's the running community here in Tacoma for folks who are listening to this who are local. We've got a lot of resources here to get you out of the house and to support you if you don't want to go outside and you want to keep moving within the home. And I mean, I would love to see a video, Shane, of you create like an obstacle course within your house and where you're like playing. I love the concept of being a kid and moving that way. I will fully admit that I, at this age, have still created little, with my cushions on the couch, like still created little like forts and like crawled through and all kinds of things with the ottoman. The dog loves it. I mean, it's just play, folks. Get out there and move and play and keep that as your maintenance if you're struggling to find community to support you. Yeah.
Oh, and one thing I must point out is that this Run Super Distance Challenge was done. I did it in May and September, and it was done. It was a virtual thing. You sign up. Cool. You just signed up on the Facebook group, and then just did your run basically virtually anywhere, anytime you could throughout the month. And, you didn't have to go to a certain race where you were, with other people because of social distancing.
That's cool. I think that's cool that they've been doing that lately. A lot of people are doing these challenges and virtual things because it gives you community without having to, you can kind of you don't have to step out of your comfort zone to be surrounded by a bunch of people, because at this point we can't do it anyway. And so, yes, it's the social distance way of doing it, but I think it's a great way, as I keep using this concept of gateway, it's your way to get you in to be like, well, let's see if this community works for me. Try a challenge. I think that's a great concept of working into things.
Yeah. Yeah, that's worked great for me. And that's one thing that's helped keep me moving. I'm on this run streak. I'm not going to quit moving. And, but it's like that got me moving a lot more. May was during that time I was laid off from work at the restaurant due to, the restaurant being slow because of the COVID situation. But it's like, I had a lot more time during the day. So I was into this challenge, to get in as many miles as I could during the month. My goal was 300. Didn't hit that, but hey, 279 still a record for me.
It's not bad.
But it's like, it just kept me moving, got me moving a lot more. Yeah. And it's like that's what I needed at that time, and to get me moving a lot more. So
it's funny how like those challenges like get our little like inner brain working to be like, oh, I got to do this. It's almost like when I had to take the Fitbit off because if I did not hit my 15,000 steps in a day, I would literally be walking around the house and it like crazy person. My husband's like, you got to stop this. But it's a good mind thing, to be like, okay, I gotta meet this challenge. I was driving him nuts, but my mind would be like, I got to get this challenge done. You challenged me. So I'm hoping that, other folks, if they're listening to this, can be, and they're looking for something to get themselves moving, start finding challenges online, and get part of a community. So you've got some folks you can share your pains and fun and, wins with. And that's your gateway to getting things going.
Yeah. At work at the restaurant I wash dishes at, there, Trapper's Sushi, they my nickname, which was given to me when I first started at the original restaurant back in 2007, my nickname there is Hip Hop, and they call me Hip Hop in reference to the old Sugar Hill Gang tune, Hip Hop, you just don't stop, because I'm always moving, doing something, and it's just so applicable, just fits me so well. But at any rate, it's like this. It's actually getting to be that time. It's about the end of the show. So I just want to thank you very much for coming in and doing the show with me, just to share with the folks about, natural medicine, and I don't know, it ended up being sort of an interview, a backwards interview. but it helped. I think it really helped, and I'm, hoping people have listened, because it helped. I think, as I see it, and you can stop me if I'm wrong, but as I see it, diet and exercise, for myself anyway, are the basis of my own natural medicine, my own immunity, and what have you. I have multiple sclerosis, which is an autoimmune disease. It attacks my immune system. Mm-hmm. But, I counteract that and build up my immune system with the diet and exercise. And I don't know, that's how I feel about it. And, granted, I do need, from time to time, rest, recovery, and the, what were you mentioning earlier? Acupressure.
Yes.
That would come in handy, because I do, I'm positive I could use that. But at any rate, for last minute words of wisdom, what are your your words of wisdom?
I've got a couple. Eat closest to nature. That's always going to be the best way. Stop searching for specific diets. Yes, Shane's got one diet there, but really stop causing brain damage for yourself. Eat closest to nature. That's going to go a long way. Move every day, but get it to be the point where it's fun for you. Find something that you love, and find a community of folks that can support you, because all of us right now are struggling with connection. We don't have the same outlets that we used to. And so I highly recommend finding folks that are like-minded, that like doing whatever it is for movement or into being healthy, that you can surround yourself with, because you truly are the sum of who you surround yourself with. So do those things, and you don't need all the fancy supplements. You don't need to be biohacking and do all that crazy stuff. Just get started with the basics, hammer that down, then you can move forward with some of the tricked out maintenance stuff.
Okay. And what's your, if anyone wants to get a hold of you, what's your contact info?
Sure. So if you guys are in Tacoma, my office is called Q Vitality Studio. I'm over Westgate and Pearl. And if you want to find me online, it's Dr. spelled out J Krause, KRAUSEND.com. That's my website. I've got a podcast, The Health Fix, and we've got a Facebook group that goes along with the podcast called Find Your Health Fix. So I support folks on all those different angles. I like to answer questions. I like to be helpful. So hit me up, and let's see how we can help you find your health fix.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Jannine. And thank you all for tuning in, or going to the website, what have you, and watching and or listening to my the podcast today, Podsitive Vibes, podcast, radio show, what have you. At any rate, yeah, I just, like Dr. Jannine was saying, community is so important, and having that support in the community, and also just movement, and what basically community and nutrition, hydration, your diet, whatever you're putting into your head and into your body, that's what's what you put in is what you get out. And so if you want, positive output, you must put positive input. Mm-hmm. And so that's about all I got to say on that. And I will also put in on my timeline, on my post, I will put contact info for Jannine. And with that, I guess we're out. So, as always, stay kind, optimistic, and grateful, and have a phenomenal day and a phenomenal week. And I'll see you next Sunday. Ciao.
Bye.
Let's see here.